Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen and fellow panelists. First of all, thank you CII for giving me the opportunity to be part of this program. We don't make electric vehicles, we supply power electric, and our interactions with electric vehicles started about a year and a half back when we all of a sudden saw in Delhi that a large number of E3-wheelers which came into the market, and we were not ready for that market. We had not done anything to provide charging of those electric three-wheelers. And typically when you are not ready, the ecosystem is not ready, you go through tremendous amount of pain. And the first pain that we had, that large scale of these E3-wheelers started stealing electricity. So how do you go and catch hold of these people to see that they don't steal electricity, they use the electricity through the proper way? And we realized that neither the infrastructure has been created, nor we have done anything to give them electricity at a cost which is affordable to them. And that is the time we started looking at that, what is this thing, electric vehicle, what is it? Whether it's two-wheelers, three-wheelers, four-wheelers, different type. Are we ready as a country? Are we ready as a utility to provide that sort of thing? And we started interacting with the ministry, with the state government, to figure out that what is it that we can do to make it a success? What is it that is required? And the two drivers that came before us, that we can go for huge amount of climate change. If we have electric vehicles, the pollution that typically is done by the normal vehicles that can go, and the energy security. And the energy security was something that really attracted us, because we feel that that can be a game changer if we look at the requirement of energy in the country and how we do the balancing of energy in the future. But going back to the issue that we faced with the e-charging, we started looking at what sort of charging mechanisms that needs to be done. Should there be a common charging? Should there be fast charging? And we realized that the vehicles that people were using, most of them were using batteries which were of very poor quality. They were simple lead-acid batteries. The whole purpose was climate change, improving the quality of climate and improving the quality of life. But most of the people who were using the three-wheelers were using very, very poor quality batteries which required replacement every 3 months or 6 months. There was no facility of fast e-charging to them. And we looked at the technologies which are available in the country. Manufacturers, Hero was one of them, of the e-charging mechanisms that are there. And we found that there's nothing that can do the type of solution that the three-wheelers are looking at. And then we also saw that many of these people were disposing of the batteries in a very, very non-scientific manner, which was actually leading to leaching of soil and rather than improving the quality of life. And that's when we took it up with the government that there has to be certain barriers, certain requirements whereby the quality of charging has to improve, the quality of batteries have to improve, and the life of batteries have to be better. And also that space for providing the charging facility. So we got in touch with the municipal corporation, with the DMRC and all. And today there has been a lot of traction, a lot of progress, and all these agencies are geared up that as and when the opportunity comes, they would provide us space for charging of vehicles. They would provide us the right infrastructure so that we can provide the charging of vehicles. The other thing that we came across, and I'll show you, this is what was typically happening, that all these people were charging at some locations. Typically, these were some playgrounds or near their houses where they were stealing electricity directly. And without any regulations, of course, there was rampant growth of this sort of charging that was taking place. So we, on our own, took up the responsibility that let us set up some charging stations. So we set up 5 charging stations, and we allowed people to come and charge over there without any cost. So we said that for first 6 months, we will allow people to come and charge their vehicles, we'll not charge them anything, so that at least they get used to the idea of charging their vehicles. And we have 5 centers where the charging takes place, and large number of vehicles come and charge over there, including commercial vehicles. These are the 3 type of charging kiosks that we have seen, the 2-way, the 3-way, and the fast one with the smart card. And we are in the process of getting about 100 of them to be put at various locations within North and Northwest Delhi, so that we encourage people whenever they have electric vehicles that they can come and charge. Of course, there would be some tariff that would come up from the regulator, but the infrastructure will be provided. We are also looking at using some of the technologies which are available in some parts of the world, whereby wireless charging facilities are there. We have talked to Clean Charge. We have also spoken to Y-Tree, which has a charging. In fact, we went and saw in MIT that Y-Tree has done this in Boston, and we are trying to see if those sort of charging solutions can be provided over here. And when we look at the charging, we are looking at smart charging. And when we look at smart charging, what are the energy security issues that we are looking at? Typically, most of the utilities have a challenge of having a very high peak of energy. In a city like Delhi, we have 6,000 megawatt of peak capacity, which is consumed, and off peak in the night time or in certain hours goes down to 4,000 megawatt. And there is a huge variation between peak and off peak. Now, can we use these electric vehicles or as energy storage equipments that they can charge during the off-peak period, and during peak period they can give it back to the grid? And can an arbitrage be created whereby we can use the charged vehicles for discharging it into the grid when they are not consuming it, and thereby meeting the peaking requirement? This is a concept which has been tried in few places in the world, and depending upon the type of arbitrage that can be created, the differential between charging and discharging prices, I think that can be a great solution, especially for a country like ours where generation quantity is always a constraint. Creating additional power plants and the evacuation arrangement is always a question mark. So this can be a game changer in terms of, so just imagine if we have 100,000 vehicles, or we are talking of 7 million vehicles, even if not 100%, even 20% of them, we will have so many virtual power plants which will be feeding it back to the grid when it is required, especially in stress condition. So that's an opportunity that we are looking, and we feel that as a part of the grid optimization process, we'll be taking this forward with many of the other technology